Words of the Mother. Most of you live on the surface of your being, exposed to the touch of external influences. You live almost projected, as it were, outside your own body. And when you meet some unpleasant being similarly projected, you get upset. The whole trouble arises out of your not being accustomed to stepping back. You must always step back into yourself. Learn to go deep within. Step back and you will be safe. Do not lend yourself to the superficial forces which move in the outside world. Even if you are in a hurry to do something, step back for a while, and you will discover to your surprise how much sooner and with what greater success your work can be done. If someone is angry with you, do not be caught in his vibrations, but simply step back, and his anger, finding no support or response, will vanish. Always keep your peace. Resist all temptation to lose it. Never decide anything without stepping back. Never speak a word without stepping back. Never throw yourself into action without stepping back. Jai Ma. My name is Shree, and I'm from Boulder, Colorado. I like to go by Shree. It's spelled S-H-R-E-E. It's another name for Mahalakshmi, and a friend of mine started calling me this a few years ago, and it kind of stuck as my nickname. In 2015, I retired my public relations business, and I went into silence for about 6 months. And towards the end of that 6 months, I said, Mother, what do you want me to do next? And there was one word, one feeling, and it was circle. And I knew exactly what she meant. So I turned my house into an events and meditation center. It's called the Mother's Center. It was given a mission statement, and I went to my daughter and I said, here's my mission statement. Do you want to join? And she said, I do. So in 2016, we opened the Mother's Center. And we do almost everything in circle. It's our fundamental way of being, of sharing, and holding space. I don't pretend to be any kind of expert on circle, but I am a very willing practitioner that's always learning. And circle is a very valuable tool for my sadhana. Circle lives inside of me. It is not something that I do. It's not an external form. It is a living symbol, an inner movement that's self-existent and self-expressive in the instrument that I am. I want to share my experience with circle and put forward perhaps a new perspective or a deepened aspiration that can help escalate our growth in community. I believe that circle creates a very ripe opportunity for us to build collective sadhana in our yoga. And I also believe that our yoga creates a very ripe opportunity to build collective through circle. So in other words, circle supports our sadhana, and our sadhana supports our circle. In today's world, there are many ways of circle, and I'm presuming that almost all of you or all of you have participated in circle or council, some form of this. What I am proposing is that we collectively aspire to engage in sacred circle in a deeper, wider, vaster, and more profound way. And that we do use it as a tool in our sadhana. So I'm going to throw out some ideas and experiences to help stimulate our further small circles and discussion. Circle is as old as time. It is used in every culture, and it's the wise way to exchange. However, I believe what you bring to circle is the most important thing. This means with what consciousness and with what aspiration. And for me, this is where these two things is where the power and the beauty lie. I have 3 offerings today for using circle work as a tool in our collective sadhana. First, circle is a call, an alignment, a purification, a commitment, and a discipline. It helps build mastery. Circle is primarily a listening practice. It is also a powerful receiving practice. We hold space in a present and conscious way for whatever emerges. It is unique and spontaneous each and every time. We learn to be present with others, seeing them, hearing them, accepting, opening to others without judgment, and holding their unique offering. This builds trust and resonance. This is not a mental practice. We move from our head to our heart to behind the heart. And it is the spontaneity that comes from the inner being that allows us to open to what wants to be said. Using the breath as a pause, we cultivate what the mother calls stepping back. We take a step inward. We experience the quiet, the silence, the peace. And this allows for a deeper expression and opportunity to emerge. The inner voice is quiet and not demanding. Much more can be manifested by the group through this inner voice. So we are practicing moving from this outer being, the exterior, into the inner being, which means that we're going to listen and we're going to speak from a different place than our regular everyday living and our social context. Participating in this type of circle is a conscious choice. We hear an inner call and make a choice to show up fully and unreserved. This type of circle requires discipline and is a discipline. We agree to certain agreements, specific needs so that whatever type of circle we're in runs smoothly. Therefore, we do not interrupt, we don't give advice, we don't respond to an issue or a question or judge or strive to fix anyone. This practice leads us to accept that each person is unique, has lessons, and comes in with gifts of the Spirit. I consider this right placement and right attitude in sharing relationship. We practice and practice until this whole aspect of practice simply falls away. There's an important understanding here of self-evaluation or self-selection. In other words, we speak with I language. I experience this. I feel this way. I think this. And we ourselves select where we are in the whole scheme of things, where we are in the evolution and in our journey. And we are not living under someone else's evaluation of us or their definition of us or where they think we should be or what we should be doing. This is the start of individual sovereignty. And this is an important basis for the movement towards a conscious collective. In my experience, I've found that this type of circle can start to change our lower nature by breaking up the old patterns of who we are, how we interact with one another, and how we work and create and manifest in a group. And this aspect of non-judgment cultivates equanimity. And this cultivates true compassion and love, which can lead to overwhelming gratitude for everyone in the circle, and yourself, and the world, and most importantly, for the divine. It's the perfect application of aspiration, rejection, and surrender. My next offering is Sacred Circle is a living symbol, and it can transform us. As I mentioned, circle lives inside of me, and I know this from my experience. It is a living symbol inside of me. And when I share this experience, I like to use these particular words. It has taken up in me. It has been activated inside me, and it grows me. This symbol of circle mirrors the basis of our yoga that Sri Aurobindo has given us. First, he says each of us has a soul, and this soul is a piece of the mother, and we can have a relationship with that soul and receive from it. And second, there is a hierarchy of planes, and we can ascend through this hierarchy and bring back the gifts. And I experience Sacred Circle as these two fundamental forms. The vessel, a golden bowl, the chalice, a container, a vase. A few days ago, I was reading Savitri, and this sentence popped up, quite timely, I thought, from Canto 4, Book 10. Seemed too perfect. The truth supreme, vast and impersonal, fits faultlessly the hour and circumstance. Its substance a pure gold, ever the same, but shaped into vessels for the Spirit's use. Its gold becomes the wine jar and the vase. So a circle is made up of individual people, individual souls, and has a center. We could say the soul of the circle. And this collective soul is an emanation of the mother. And I experience this vessel as a very feminine form. Each of us is equal. We share responsibility. There is no leader. And this vessel can hold and receive as much as each person can hold and receive and meld together and make the vessel strong. The second fundamental form is the hierarchy. I like to use Sri Aurobindo's words, the lightnings. An ascending and descending column in the center of the circle, opening to planes of being. So we can make our offerings individually or collectively or both to the center of the circle and allow these movements to flow upward and then receive the gifts from spirit, from the descent. We rise together, however high we can obtain, and then bring back the knowledge and experience through her grace. I experience these lightnings as a masculine form of direction and force. So you have this feminine vessel, and then you have these lightnings that penetrate into the vessel. And what comes about is birth, manifestation, new opportunities and possibilities. It's through trust, sincerity, authenticity, openness, surrender, and love. We generate a greater connectivity in circle. And this connectivity leads to a deeper resonance, which brings about a more powerful coherence. And the spiraling movement becomes more and more expanded and directed. We want to listen to the center. We want to tune into the will that is trying to manifest from the heart of the group and give voice to it and be open to receiving. My third offering. This practice of sacred circle affects our daily lives through an incremental and building movement. What we experience in circle, we carry into our daily lives. We find ourselves gravitating towards more of what is good, true, and beautiful. And we find ourselves rejecting more of what we should not accept into our lives. We learn to live from our inner landscape, and we find ourselves wanting to be around other people who have the same appreciation and the same sensitivity and the same practice. We exhibit higher functioning with other people in groups through respect, sovereignty, and allowing each person to live their own soul mission while contributing to the collective. We begin to understand our interdependence in a new way and want to draw upon its power and its beauty and its tremendous ability for manifestation, both individual and collective. We've become more than the sum of our parts. We've created a window into seeing ourselves as one living organism, an expression of multiplicity and oneness. Now, this can be a mental thought. It can be a vital feeling. But most importantly, it can be an experience in consciousness. Whether our focus be knowledge or work or relationships or perfection in living, any or all of these can be impacted through circle. Giving in circle, receiving in circle, living and radiating the fruits of circle. There are so many ways to contribute, and I see so many ways that you are contributing. We can incorporate circle when doing projects, when we are in organizational work together. We can create reading circles, meditation circles, solving problem circles, sharing life's journey. You can join a circle or start your own circle. I see that affinity and shared aspiration can be our beautiful starting point. We can become a powerful social stem cell because this process will self-replicate itself, calling forth a new social fabric. This keeps us co-creating and co-evolving, which, as we know in this yoga, is the way that we have to move. So this is our great experiment, and it's also a great invitation. Invoking the grace, invoking the mother, by bringing forth the call to circle. Accessing our living symbols in a field of unified awareness. And allowing the soul of the circle to create a new birth, a new life, and ultimately usher in the descent of a new creation. Thank you, Jai Ma. So our question for the breakout group that's coming up: has circle shown up in your life? And how might this emerge in the future to further deepen your sadhana and expand collective practice? So I'll repeat that. There's two parts. Has circle shown up in your life? And how might this emerge in the future to further deepen your sadhana and expand collective practice?